Perspectives of Self-Realization. Dr. Robert Cassar, eartheracademy.com. Self-realization. What is that? Do you self-realize something? Do you realize something of yourself? Think about that for a sec. This is a rethinking reality. Self-realization. What could it be? Maybe what are the deeper meanings of self-realization? Remember, self-realization goes not deep, it goes layered. So let's say you have self-realization that you look in the mirror, take your clothes off, check it out, and you see that you have extra body fat. You are self-realizing this truth. And remember, if you're 30 pounds plus overweight, your self-realization is not seeing this. No, it's not. So you have to sort of think, how could someone get 50 pounds or 100 pounds overweight? Well, it's because you haven't really looked into the mirror and given this self-realization that you need to change it up, or maybe change it down. Okay, remember, self-realization. Now let's go deep. That's just simple self-realization. Self-realization, again, could be that now you're, I don't know, you got a degree and you realize, not with your real eyes and hear with your real ears, you have a lot of information in your mind, so you realize, self-realization, that maybe you can get a job because you have a degree. But let's go to the deeper layers of self-realization. Remember, self-realization is a miracle once you really see this, I don't know what you'd call it, this realization. So what is self-realization? Think of it. Let's go ahead and actually just talk about self-realization of the inner self. Are you realizing that you're not focusing your eyes? No, you're not. Are you realizing that you're not, well, beating your heart? No, you're not. You're not having anything to do with that. It's a so-called autonomic function, or that organ is an energy field. And it does what it does, depending on its program. The kidney does what it does, depending on its program. The genitals do what they do, depending on their program. So, self-realization, let's go to the lungs, because that's just an organ. But what breathes the lungs? Aha! Self-realization. How do you realize this truth? That you're not breathing. So this is a simple exercise, but it's really not. It may take you years to be able to just get a glimpse of this miracle. I want you to try this experiment. Lay down, close your eyes, and I want you to just realize that you can breathe. Breathe in. And that's you breathing. Remember, you're multidimensional, you're multifractional, you're not just one, but you're many energies within a energy field, or a quantum field, as you can say, all being harmonic with each other, all working with each other in some form and degree to make it so we can have our perceptions and sort of play the game of form. So let's think of this. Slow down your mind and slow down your breath. I want you to start just trying to breathe with your breath as you slow it down from the conscious breathing. We're trying to get to the subconscious breathing, behind consciousness, subconscious. So, self-realization is when you can go ahead and actually breathe with yourself, because you weren't breathing just a minute ago, and now you're realizing, well, not with your eyes, but you're realizing that you are a part of this thing that breathes us all. Okay, remember, insects are the same thing, but they don't have a neonatal cortex to be able to what? To realize that they're breathing. A fish doesn't know it's swimming. A bird doesn't even know it's singing. No, it doesn't. Its program does it so, and it doesn't have the ability to be able to weigh and measure what, of course, is self-realization. So humans, basically, or so-called humans, have this ability to be able to see the miracle within ourselves, to see the miracle in all things. As long as we slow ourselves down to see the first miracle, is that you're not breathing. Remember, it's self-realization. It's to realize, okay, when you slow your breath down and you start breathing with it, I want you to try to disconnect your mind from the breath and see if you can do what? See if you can watch yourself breathe. What a beautiful thing. Okay, and if you can just get one breath, just one breath of this miracle, then you will be so humble to know that this machine is breathing on its own. I can breathe with it if I want to. Watch. Oh, that's me breathing, but if I slow down enough to be able to breathe this machine, okay, slower and slower, and I consciously stop breathing, if you can. Some people need to take certain types of plants to be able to do this, to be able to see the miracle within themselves. Remember, the miracle within yourselves. Do you hold your pee-pee, your number two, your poo-poo? Do you hold it? No, you don't even think about it. It tells you when to go, though. Remember, did you go to the bathroom this morning, or did it go to the bathroom? You call it your body, but remember, this is all weird stuff for your mind to grab if you're not really thinking multiverse or interdimensional. Your body's this sort of machine that has a lot going on underneath the skin. A lot. Processing, regenerating, just bringing functionality to the computer system to be able to make the eyes go ahead and do what they do because they're an entity. But the supercomputer, the brain of ourselves, is the sort of realization part of ourselves to be able to see the true miracle. Remember, the birds, the bees, the whales, the snails can't see maybe the miracle because they don't have the brain that we have. So try to see if you can watch your breath. Watch your breath. You may not be able to do it more than one breath, but if you can do it once in a while, you'll just see the miracle of life. And know, again, remember, it is a miracle that something is breathing us, because what a task that would be to remember how to breathe, or remember to breathe. Remember, you don't know how to breathe, you only know how to control and shut off the automated or this energetic field that is doing what it does without you even knowing it. Remember, the animal doesn't know it's breathing. It doesn't. It doesn't have that capacity to be able to weigh and measure. So, anyways, life is very much of a mystery. And here's another sort of self-realization. Okay, remember, I'm driving on the road now, and I'm in Hawaii. And I'm driving down this road, and this road, remember, is going along the ocean. And supposedly, well, at least what I've been told, it's not what I sense, or my sensors don't tell me this, but at least, and some of you may even know what I'm going to say, there's a guy I'm just passing up on his bicycle right now. Shoot, he's driving sideways, right? And gravity is magically keeping him on his bicycle perfectly balanced sideways. I'm driving sideways. The car's going by me right now, whizzing by me. They're going sideways. Wow. Okay, does that make sense to your mind? Is that a realization that maybe is something very hard to realize beyond, of course, what you've been told, but it doesn't make sense to your sensors. But it makes sense to your senses. The senses are sort of what you can call a socially engineered program. Okay? We believe what we believe only because we do. And we don't really have the critical thinking, the logic, okay, and integrity within ourselves to ask just logical questions. How could I be driving sideways right now? And of course, there's a theory that says gravity. And if it doesn't fit into this gravity, okay, maybe because, I don't know, the car's magnetic, but everything I see is not. The telephone poles are sideways, and the ocean right now, and wow, look at that ocean liner. That ocean liner's going sideways right now. It's driving sideways. Maybe it's going uphill, going downhill, I don't know, but it's sideways on the side of the ball. Does that make sense to you? Or does that make nonsense to you? Remember, let's go to Australia. Remember, this is self-realization. It's a realization that there's many mysteries here, and a lot of things that we've been told, we just maybe took them for granted that, well, maybe there's something different. Maybe the history, self-realization that the history is not as, well, accurate as you hear it to be in those books. Maybe self-realization is that you need to go on a fast, and you need to go ahead and maybe do a 7 to 14 day intermittent fasting program, and or maybe even a block fasting program. Maybe it's time for you as a vegan, if you're a vegan, remember, maybe it's time for you to have self-realization that that diet wasn't serving you as good as you thought it could. Okay, self-realization is that when you look in the mirror and you say, I've been malnourished, I've been, well, not treating my primal body maybe what I should have been doing previously. My spiritual mind, my mind is more spiritual, and it sees that everything is connected to everything, and I should be able to transcend my body to be able to accept plants that are little capsules of light, and my body should be able to break those down. Well, maybe in time they will, and maybe some people can, but most people, we'll get into this later. Okay, I'm just taking a break from all plants right now, all supplements besides my minerals. And I've changed my diet a lot, which we'll go into again. Why? Is because, well, I had self-realization. I had self-realization that I was not on the correct track anymore, only because of my realization of taking the time to be able to investigate this, not only within myself, within other people, doing similar types of things, okay, that we think are better for us. And sometimes they are. And sometimes, well, they're not. And they may not be good for us right away, but after a while, if a system doesn't sustain itself, and if you're a peak performance athlete, then you need superior nutrition, and you're going to get that through certain types of, well, nutritional dense proteins, okay, and real saturated fats. Remember, the body is a machine. It's primordial. It poops, it has sex, it does a lot of shameful things, even poop, you know, behind closed doors. If not, you'd leave the door open, right? It smells. Wow, what is this thing? Well, it's primordial. The mind, of course, can stay in all different types of layers of activation. But most people think in their mind that they are their body. And in fact, self-realization is that that's your body avatar, and it's activated, it's dreamed by the avatar mind. And the avatar mind can be expanded, as, of course, any type of machine can be expanded and or can be, well, taken down to a lower level. So anyways, everything's an experiment, guys. And when we have self-realization, whatever layer that you may have this realization in, then spend the time and investigate. Okay, remember, self-realization is even taking some of the entheogenic plants under expert ceremonial guidance, and to see if you can have self-realization, to look within yourself. Okay, to look within is to find out that you're more than what you think you are. You can only see outside from here out, but what if you turn your eyes around and look inside? Are you ready to see the instrument of God, and also what lives within your instrument of God, which is your body? So anyways, guys, I can tell you this, in my journey, I found out that the world of form, which we all think is controlling form, is that the world of no form, the world behind the curtain, the world inside your body, the world that you see called the secret government, whatever it is, it's the behind the scenes system, the no form system, because these systems don't show themselves. Okay, the inside of your body, remember, is holding 5 liters of blood and all these different types of fluids, all hydraulic fluids, oils, and whatever it is. And your body, remember, is like in a water bottle or in a skin tight suit. And inside, behind the curtain, behind the scenes, behind the Wizard of Oz, you'll find out that, of course, there's some magical things going on. And it's the same thing when we go ahead and look and see how this world's really sort of working. The world of no form controls the world of form. Ha! Isn't it so? Think about it. The world of no form. I know that most people can't grasp this. Most people, remember, have never even seen the miracle of life within themselves. Most people don't even know their blood type. O positive, AB negative, O negative, A negative, B negative, whatever it is. You think you're Norwegian. I did my ancestry chart, really, and you're ancient American Indian, or you're such and such. You know, really, from a drop of blood. But we can tell a lot of things. Your genetic code, we can tell basically, are you having special DNA compared to the rest of the people that have the simple DNA? Do you have the called alien DNA? Yeah, alien DNA means that it's not like the rest of the people that are, well, you call them what you want. They're called simple people. Remember, pawns, mundanes, nice people. Okay, but unconsciously they know not what they do, and that's not a good thing. So again, self-realization is to know that we're all on a different channel. Okay, some of us are on AM 640 KFI, the news, weather, and sports. That's an activation of your mind. Some of us are on the FM dial. The FM dial has a variety of different types of likes, okay, of desires, curiosity, okay, a lot of things like that. And then of course there's shortwave, and each of these channels can look into the channel below itself. Okay, the ocean is right here, and remember, the ocean is another realm. That's called Neptune's world, and Neptune's world is what? That's the water world. And the water world houses the liquid creatures. And we're liquid too, but we're bipedal, and or quadrupedal, or insectual, you know, we're insects, okay, on this plane, the terrestrial plane. But what lives in the ocean there really doesn't have any legs, does it? It swims, it breathes water. We breathe water here too, but not like they do. They breathe the full liquid, okay, of water. And we're breathing about 80% humidity right here, so my amphibian genetics are actually helping me right now, because I am breathing a little bit of water and I'm not choking it up. So my lungs know how to figure out how to get this water transcribed through me without, you know, upsetting the air cycle that I'm breathing at the same time. Remember, the body is an incredible machine. Yes, it is. And it's unknowable. Take this thing off the clicker here. Okay, and that's unknowable. And if it's unknowable, well, again, what a beautiful thing to be able to have self-realization that whatever you learn in a book, whatever you have been told, the system cannot be known. So when we go to school to learn about the kidney theory, the heart theory, the brain theory, the conscious theory, all these theories, even to the theory of how a blade of grass works, we find out that we really don't know too much. So anyways, you know, life again is such a mystery, and we should be lucky enough at this time to be able to activate our neocortex and see the miracle, because I see a lot of depressed people, a lot of depression going on. And why is that? Maybe it's because you're disconnected from yourself. Yourself that's, remember, got many entities within itself. Think of the mind as your supercomputer, okay, and as above connects into as of all below. And the heart, okay, my bicep here, okay, everything, my shoulder, everything, my jawbone, my nose, my mouth, my ears, my eyes, my hair, they're all separate entities, all from the same cells. But my body electronically and magically, remember, the architect of the electricity, the electrical body, the ethereal body, tells those cells how to make my eyeball, tells my cells how to do what they do. So what kind of an electronic program do we have? Physiologically, it's a miracle. It's because you don't know, forget about, you don't breathe, you don't circulate your blood, okay? You don't poop, it poops. You don't do a lot of things, okay? You really don't. You're not walking, you're dreaming yourself to walk. You don't even have that realization. Remember, it's self-realization to know that this body, okay, is connected to my mind avatar, and it is a dream machine. Look, I'm dreaming my hand to do, there we go. I'm dreaming my hand to do whatever I want it to do. I dream this. I don't know how to do it. Okay? I don't know how to speak. I dream these words that I've mimicked, even though the etymology of a lot of the words we use in this language called English or Babel, a lot of the etymology is not exactly what, of course, is the true meaning of the word, because it didn't come from English. It came from other languages. Again, like religare. Okay, what does that mean? Well, the English version of religare means religion. And of course, the meaning of religare, if you look it up in Latin, you find out that it means to hold, to tie back, and to bind down. So you can see, sort of like, I guess, God bless. Remember, who made up these words? Okay, remember, it's a language. Is it a slave language? God bless. Let's just break that down. Okay, dog, you can reverse it. It's a dog, God and dog, right? You can add another O to it and it's good. And, well, when you go ahead and see, well, I was going to tell you something, but it gets too involved. But remember, when you know that your system, okay, is broken up into so many different layers, that the first thing you'd want to see is the miracle within yourself. So the miracle within yourself, of course, can't be seen unless you take the time. Just like the miracle of nature can't be seen unless you take the time to go out in nature. The miracle of a bird flying is to realize it's dreaming too as it's flying. Remember, it doesn't know how to do anything. It dreams. It sees other things fly and it just copies them. So most of the organisms here copy each other, and a lot of the organisms here, okay, they have intact programs. But the humans here, they don't have any programs. They don't. They have no software programs added to their hardware that we call the human body. Just the bare minimum to keep us so we can, I don't know, press buttons on televisions and do a lot of simpleton things. But when it comes to critical thinking, remember, the mind is a beautiful thing as long as it's activated by other parts of yourself. If the mind is connected to the body and the body is polluted, then the body pollutes the mind. And if the mind is polluted by a variety of different things, that's why, you know, watch the different videos we do, eartheracademy.com. A lot of different things to upgrade, enhance, and optimize, to reset, renew, and rebuild. But if the mind gets perverted, if it gets toxic, then as above, so below. The electrical system cannot regenerate. It cannot actually work in some form of harmony or equanimity. So it's pretty simple to see how things work. Remember, the supercomputer guides everything below, but the body does have, of course, our best interest when we understand that the mind, maybe it's a different entity than the body. Remember, the body, the mind, and the spirit. We know those different entities exist. The body is an entity. It's primal. Remember, it poops. It does a lot of weird stuff that you're maybe even ashamed of. You don't understand it? Of course you don't. You don't even know what to feed it. No, you don't. Okay? And the mind, of course, can be socially engineered and upgraded, enhanced, and optimized, or dumbed down very easily, depending on what it believes, depending on its decoding of the matrix, depending on how much experience it has and how much, okay, true education instead of, well, a false indoctrination. And if we believe, remember, that we have good health care, then if we did, then we would see the no sickness in our communities. We wouldn't see the sickness in the United States. We wouldn't see the obesity. You wouldn't see the diabetes. You wouldn't see all these so-called diseases. So, you know, you got a lot of things going on right now. Remember, this place is, as you can see, if you're only on AM 640 KFI, the news, weather, and sports, one channel in your brain, then you're in a mind prison. And if you're an FM, you're still in a mind prison, a confusing one now. You got too much information. And if you're in shortwave, remember, you're still in a mind prison. It's just that you can look into the other two prisons and see the people under the spell. Hard. They believe in a lot of stuff. Okay? They believe in a lot of stuff. And that's not a bad thing, especially, again, when you don't have anything to really feel that is true. The only thing you know that is true is nature. Just remember that. It has an intact software program. It doesn't have to go to school, it doesn't believe in money, it doesn't care about religion, it just is what it is, and it doesn't need to be taught a bloody thing. Okay? All things in nature, all things, have an intact software program. Just watching the bird fly. How does it learn how to make a nest? How does it learn how to make babies? How does it learn how to even procreate? And we got to learn, okay, that the penis, okay, well, is supposed to go in the vagina. And if you, well, have a thing called an orgasm where it feels good, then maybe a miracle of life will pop out. Because if you didn't know that, what do you think, that you'd know how to procreate? If you didn't see anybody walk or talk, do you think you'd learn anything? Do you think you'd have any inherent programs? No, it's why humans, the earth humans, are so easy to socially engineer. And each generation is engineered different to the last generation. So each one sort of has a divide and conquer, only because if you watch the commercials back in the 70s, or the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and 80s, you can see about every 10 years they change it up on a lot of things. Remember, fathers knows best? Well, that's not the way anymore, but if you watch that program, you'll see that father and mother knew best, and it was a loving family. And now, you have 72% of all the children living with their parents? No, 72% living with their mothers. Single family housing. Okay? Remember, everybody needs men in their life. Everybody needs not a man, but a male, and everybody needs a female in their life. Why? So the females can go ahead and teach what they do with the child, and the males can go ahead and teach them what they do. And that's just what it is. It's called balance. But I see a lot of people out of balance up here, out of balance in their emotional field, out of balance in their physical body. So that's not a good thing. So self-realization is when you look in the mirror and say, I got to change it up, not change it down. Remember, you got sickness. How do you know? If you're taking any pharmaceutical, you have sickness. Anyone. So that's it. You got a sickness. What kind of sickness you got? Well, that's another story. Okay, and how long have you been taking these things? Are they temporary, or are you on this stuff all the time, this petrochemical, the synthetic recipe? Really, and you think the doctor knows this pill? It's synthetic. It's not natural. All he can do is read what the manufacturers say about it. And that's it. Okay? The rep, remember, turned him on to this magic pill, and you're supposed to practice and try these recipes in your practice. That's because you're always practicing. And remember, if the doctors were doing such a good bloody deal, they'd be teaching their patients how not to get sick and or put them out of business. Emergencies are emergencies, and there's a good thing there. Emergency doctor saved my life many times. It's because that place does save lives. But all these management doctors, okay, don't even talk about changing your diet. You don't talk about parasites. You don't talk about heavy metal poisoning. You don't talk about RF frequencies. You don't talk about demineralization, and or maybe even a simple thing called fasting. How about quit eating a bunch of garbage? How about eating a lot of things that basically the system says is good for you, is only because, remember, convenience has got you. So anyways, the more convenient you become, the more, well, diseased you become. And I'm just watching people drive by right now on their bicycles. And the little kids are overweight. Not all of them, but 3 of them right there are. Okay? And maybe mom and their sisters, well, they're not that much better. Okay? Everybody's overweight. Everybody should have self-realization that you need to change it up. Remember, once you get sick, that's it. I don't know what you're going to do. But I do know what you're going to do. You're going to go see the man with the white jacket, or maybe even the female in the white jacket, and they're going to see if they can offer you a magical pill. Hey, brother. They're going to see if they offer you a magical pill to help fix your blasphemy, to help fix your heatheny on yourself. What do you think, putting a cell phone? It's not a cell phone, it's a microwave transmitter. You think putting that up to your head, and especially if you have aluminum in your brain or any types of heavy metals, those waves go through that are supposedly non-thermal, but maybe they are. Maybe they're non-thermal until they hit some type of, I don't know, density, like aluminum in the brain, lead in your cojones, okay, your filters, your kidneys, your liver, wearing phones on the side of your waist. Maybe those Wi-Fi and or any type of wireless technology, as it goes through your body, your cells don't like it. But then again, what happens when those microwaves go through and hit aluminum? Put a piece of aluminum foil in your microwave and see what happens. Crinkle it up and just throw it in and turn it on. What do you think happens? Get a light show, electricity. Okay, put any type of metal in that thing. What happens if the microwave that's going right next to your head, okay, or you're wearing it on the side of your waist, or you're just in maybe commercial grade Wi-Fi routers? Don't you think that it could be a possibility, or maybe even a probability greater than 50%, that these waves may be short-circuiting out your organic physiology. The heavy metals that are in your brain, remember you cook with aluminum, you have aluminum underarm deodorant, you got aluminum in your salt, aluminum in your water supply, aluminum in geoengineering, you got aluminum all over the bloody place. So you don't think you have aluminum in your brain again, you're fooling yourself. Just fooling yourself. Oh, I got a blood test. I know. Yeah, that's just in your blood, and that just tells you at that time. It just does. So anyways, we're going to do some testing coming up on the amount of pesticides. We're going to take some hair, and if you want to be a part of that program, you know, sign up for our newsletter at eartheracademy.com, and I'd like to go ahead and see the last 6 months on your herbicides and pesticides, not just one time by your blood or your urine, but let's see how your detoxification organ, your hair, is pulling it out, and how much has it pulled out, which of course can quantify that you had it in your body. Is because the hair, remember, doesn't just give you something to make it so your head doesn't get cold or you get too much shine on the top of your head. Your hair is a detox organ, and the detox organ, of course, is under your armpits, front of your crotch. It's in a lot of places, and where that hair is where the heavy metals get pulled out, where maybe the glyphosate, the atrazine, glyphosate, all these different herbicides, whatever they are. Heavy metals, mercury, cadmium, aluminum, lead, arsenic, thallium, stainless steel, antimony, all that stuff. I had my chocolate this morning. All right, we're at 31 minutes. Guys, self-realization. Remember, you're going to wait until you get sick? Remember, the self-realization I'd like for you to see is, yeah, the breath, that's cool. But just realize, with your realize, look in the mirror and know that you need to go ahead and actually maybe take care of yourself a little better. And that means you need to learn. We can go ahead and teach you at least my perspective on a lot of things, and of course, doesn't mean it's your perspective, but you may want to try a few things. Remember, it's just an experiment, and see if it helps you. See if it changes your life in a positive way. And if it doesn't, guys, then, well, at least you tried. So, anyways, aloha, guys, gonna go work out. That's it. Here we go. All right, and you can see there's homeless people all over the bloody place. Okay, poor people, and no one wants to help them. And they're, of course, eating a lot of different types of food that's not really cool. Okay, that their free money that they get from the system lets them buy anything pretty much, and what they buy is just cheap food. Remember, you can't afford it. I know. So, anyways, there is self-realization that this community, okay, in every place, is not really working with the community. No, they're not. In most cases, they're working against the community, is because no one's helping each other. And everybody feels that they're in individual. Well, you are. But we're also a collective group of people being breathed all by the same thing. Okay, guys, that's it. Enough. Aloha. And remember that boat out there, that little sailboat's going sideways now. Really. Okay, guys, we'll see you next time. Self-realization. Give it a good looking into all these different layers. Okay, I'm coming up on 33, so it looks like those are master numbers. I think I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, guys, that's it. Aloha.